What's up guys, it's me and Murev again with a brand new video, and today's video is the fourth episode of Know That Character. And the character we're talking about today is the former number 1 pro hero and the symbol of peace in the MHA world, All Might. But today we are focusing more on his past and how he became the hero he is today. So guys, don't forget to subscribe for my 1K subscriber anime figurine giveaway. So for more information on that, just check and follow my Instagram and Twitter accounts in the description below. And you could maybe sign up for my Patreon as well. I'll put it down there too. So yeah, let's get started. So years back, Toshinari Yagi was born quirkless during a time in the world where evil ruled and ran rampant due to the influence of All for One. That time, crime rates were increasing because there was no one who could stop the evil lurking, and there was no hero that the citizens could believe in. During Toshinari's teenage years, he met Nana Shimura, who was like a mother figure for All Might. So Nana Shimura is the 7th holder of the One for All, if you didn't know that. And during that time, he told Nana that he wanted to create a world where everyone can smile and live happily together. But for that to happen, the world needed a symbol of peace to inspire a new age of harmony. And Toshinori believed that he could become the pillar that would inspire these people. Eventually, Nana passed One for All down to Toshinori, making him the 8th torchbearer of the great power. So obviously, having that great of a power comes the danger of facing All for One. Eventually, All for One tracked them down and attacked, which resulted in Nana sacrificing herself so that Toshinori could live on. As he was 18 years old that time, I couldn't imagine how he felt by seeing his master die in front of him. Gran Torino then starts training Toshinori as a promise he made to his friend Nana. As Toshinori's body was strong enough to utilize One for All at 100%, from the start, Gran Torino mainly focused on teaching him how to fight. Toshinori also went to UA as a high school student while Torino was a homeroom teacher, and still at this time, Toshinori was still in disbelief of losing his master, and he was unable to train properly since he kept losing focus. The thoughts of having revenge always clouded Toshinori's mind, and he wished to avenge his master. So then Gran Torino ordered Toshinori to train in the United States after he graduated, so All for One could not reach him there. He reminded Toshinori why Nana sacrificed herself and restored his resolve. That spring, Toshinori graduated from UA and prepared to cross the ocean, but before he departed, Toshinori reminded himself of his master's trademark smile. He shaped his hair and donned what would become his own signature smile for the first time as All Might. Soon after moving to Los Angeles, California, Toshinori rescued a group of scientists from an explosion. One of these upcoming student scientists was David Shield. David thanked Toshinori and noticed his destroyed attire. He developed a sturdy hero costume that would come to be known as All Might's young age costume. So for those who don't know, is that David Shield makes hero support costumes. So Toshinori and David would quickly become best friends and acted as a hero team throughout California. Toshinori then told David his dreams of becoming a symbol of peace and shine a light onto the world that is consumed by darkness. Together, David and All Might took down a pair of LA villains, and David even relayed All Might's message to everyone watching, truly believing that one day All Might would become the world's top hero. Over time, All Might would serve as an uncle figure to Melissa. He encouraged her to become a support engineer in order to help other people just like her father. Eventually, Toshinori returns to his home country, and his rise would only continue through the bronze, silver, and golden ages of his career, eventually becoming the world symbol of peace and number 1 hero. All Might reached the pinnacle dreams and inspired a new age of pro heroes where the country finally knew peace. Japan's crime rate dropped down to below 6% because of All Might's presence, issuing an era of peace. However, the looming threat of All for One was still present. All Might then took a new partner, a fan of him who has the ability to see the future, named Sir Night-Eye. Sir Night-Eye, as we all saw, would act as the brains of All Might's operations, while the number 1 hero was at the peak of his career. For many years, their partnership worked well. Eventually, Destiny caught up with him and All Might, was brought face to face once again with All for One. And as we all know, the symbol of peace became the first torchbearer to defeat All for One, completely crushing his head. This was at the cost of critical injuries, as All Might's stomach was lost and his respiratory system was damaged beyond repair. This created a limit on how long All Might could use One for All, reducing his ability to be the symbol of peace. Due to All Might's injuries and condition, Sir Night-Eye told All Might to retire as he didn't want All Might to push himself to the brink of death, but All Might refused. Nezu told All Might that he could look for a successor of One for All in the UA High School, an idea that Sir Night-Eye considered as the best option. Toshinori agreed that the symbol of peace would need a successor, but refused to step down in any case any new villain stepped up. All Might asked who the symbol of peace would be until he finds the successor. Even though All for One was gone, another villain like him would eventually appear. Sir Night-Eye threatened to stop helping should All Might continue his reign as the #1 hero. He even uses his foresight quirk to warn All Might of his impending death. He told him that in 6 to 7 years, he will confront a villain and head towards a gruesome death. All Might keeps ignoring Sir Night-Eye's warnings, and they dissolved their partnership completely. In order to raise a proper successor, All Might enlisted himself as a teacher at UA High 5 years later. He spoke with Nezu about a potential replacement, and the principal believed that Mirio Togata, one of the UA students, would make a fitting successor to One for All. During the period between he defeated All for One until he became a professor at UA, Toshinori was involved in a series of events caused by a criminal organization known as the Villain Factory, whose goals were unknown. For several weeks, the Villain Factory was dedicated to distributing through Naruhata streets a drug known as Trigger, an illegal substance that boosts quirks but turns its consumers into violent instant villains, causing several incidents. One day, one of the factory's agents, Queen Hachisuka, uses her Queen Bee quirk to inject the drug into innocent civilians, turning them into a horde of instant villains, causing chaos at the streets. Suddenly, All Might and several other heroes, such as Endeavor, Midnight, Eraserhead, appear, and in a short space of time, they suppress all the instant villains. Due to the villain outbreak, where several innocent people were turned into villains, Detective Tanema organized a meeting in the police station with several of the heroes who helped to stop the outbreak to discuss the situation and the best action to take. Because All Might could not attend, Tanema sent his partner Naomasa to the Might Tower to request All Might's help in dealing with the Trigger outbreak, specifically telling him to talk to his secretary-manager, Toshinori Yagi. Little did they know that was All Might. On the top floor, the receptionist tells Naomasa that All Might will be returning shortly from Hokkaido. The Might Tower roofs open up and All Might lands down. Many reporters ask All Might questions about global affairs. However, All Might apologizes and decides to leave office affairs to his staff. All Might retreats behind the Might Gate, which is only accessible to All Might himself. Naomasa couldn't talk to All Might but went to the receptionist to ask for Mr. Yagi. Coincidentally, Toshinori Yagi, or All Might in his true form, is by the receptionist as well, and he hears Naomasa's request. Toshinori and Naomasa chat in the Might Tower Cafe, with Toshinori introducing himself as Might's production second secretarial office and that he handles All Might's private affairs. Naomasa explains the instant villains rampages that have been happening recently, to which Toshinori suggests that heroes should be more cautious going forward. However, while they are having a conversation, Toshinori constantly makes excuses and runs to perform quick deeds as All Might. In the end, Toshinori accidentally returns with a uniform still visible, revealing his dual identity as All Might. Toshinori asks Naomasa to keep his identity a secret, to which Naomasa replies that he will, but he tells Toshinori that the police force are troubled by his spontaneous acts of heroism and calls him out on not filing reports on all of his heroic activities. Toshinori is well aware that he must follow standard procedures when heroes wield their powers, but he wants to help people without being burdened by unnecessary procedures. While Naomasa understands him, he tells that every hero must follow the rules, and it would be a bad example if the #1 hero does not follow these rules. Taking pity on All Might, Naomasa offers to file the reports himself, letting All Might act without any worries apart from telling him about his unplanned hero activities. Toshinori was delighted with Naomasa's offer and accepts it, exchanging his personal contact number with him. The next day, Naomasa receives several cases of All Might's unplanned heroics and wonders if it was Tanema's plans to push All Might's ordeal into him from the start. Well then, obviously, after all of this, Toshinori and Naomasa became friends, and for the next months, they have several meetings to keep themselves informed of their mutual jobs, with All Might carrying out his hero duties and Naomasa continuing with the police investigation to stop the traffic of Trigger and the villain factory. One day, after resolving a series of incidents in Okinawa, Toshinori Yagi returns to the Might Tower for a meeting with Naomasa in the building's cafeteria, only to find out that the detective in his arm has a sling and several fractures. Naomasa explains to him that his injuries are the result of a confrontation he had against a villain related to the villain factory. Although he tries not to give importance, Toshinori is worried and tells him that if he had known, he would have come to help him. The detective replies that his public figure, All Might, can't be taking jobs for personal reasons and can't prioritize saving certain people because they could be taken hostage or used as a diversion by villains. Toshinori cannot deny that he is right. With the start of a new year, Detective Naomasa and Toshinori had another meeting, in which they say they hope to continue working together for another year. Yay! Naomasa informs him that recently they have obtained new and important information about the case he is investigating. All Might offers to help him, but although he is grateful, Naomasa tells him that it is not possible. Police investigations lead Naomasa to discover the place where the villain factory carries out its illegal experiments. A police raid takes place, but number 6, the same villain who left Naomasa badly wounded the previous time, is there, and he blows up the place before escaping with 5 creatures called bombers in order to attack the Tokyo Sky Egg and kill Captain Celebrity. Luckily, Naomasa survives, and in a police helicopter he goes to the Tokyo Sky Egg, where he sees several heroes fighting the bombers. The hero, Eraserhead, is with him and asks him to call All Might to come to the place to help, because although it seems that the heroes are winning, the threat is not yet over. Naomasa agrees to Aizawa's request and calls All Might, who at that time is in a meeting at the Might Tower as Yagi Toshinori. Upon hearing Naomasa's call, Yagi apologizes and goes to a secluded area to talk to him. Naomasa tells him that the Tokyo Sky Egg is in trouble, but before he can clarify the situation, Yagi hears an explosion on the phone. Seeing how his creatures were being defeated, number 6 had ordered the last one to self-destroy in a powerful explosion, which caused the Tokyo Sky Egg to begin to collapse, with thousands of people inside. Upon hearing the explosion and Naomasa's request for help, the number 1 hero immediately leaves the Might Tower, taking him only a few seconds to reach the place, and in a flash, he smashes the remains of the tower out of the way, flattens the ground, brings animals to safety and lands the Tokyo Sky Egg dome safely, saving everyone. The bystanders are stunned by that inhuman feat and start cheering for All Might. The media reports the bombers' attack on the Tokyo Sky Egg while hosting a large-scale event with some of the most famous heroes, and how All Might saved everyone from the disaster when the tower began to fall. Journalists and reporters ask All Might about his opinion. He simply thinks that there are no fatalities and praise the efforts of the pro-heroes, law enforcement, and the relief workers to take care of the victims. After his statement, he says goodbye and runs away, typical All Might, being pursued by the media. After eluding them, All Might, now as Yagi Toshinori, returns to the place and meets secretly with Naomasa. He tells him that he's going to stick around for a while in case there's another attack. Naomasa apologizes for getting bent out of shape, but Yagi tells him that it's fine and that it was his impassioned plea that got him there in time. Yagi explains to Naomasa that his quirk has a strong psychological component to his strength. When he hears a plea for help, he feels like it is a direct order to All Might. He also tells him that when he accepted his power in order to save everyone and give them hope. Naomasa feels confused about how All Might accepted his power, and All Might realizes that he has unwittingly revealed an important fact regarding One for All and its secrets. Before their conversation continues, they are interrupted by Shota Aizawa, Fat Gum, and Monica, and Naomasa introduces them to Yagi, who thinks that one of these days he will have to explain Naomasa everything about the secret behind All Might. In the distance, at the top of a building, Number 6 watches the whole scene, still furious that All Might ruined his plans. However, he does not give up, and uses a device again to reactivate the bomber's remains. The busted bomber's pieces and bits start to regenerate, combine, and grow into a gigantic and uniform mass of flesh that bursts, releasing a swarm of 200 mini-bombers to attack everyone. In his last attempt to cause a tragedy, Number 6 is confident that even All Might will not be able to destroy all the creatures, so he is sure that his attack will cause some deaths. Everyone was startled by this sudden attack, but it generates the appropriate distraction for Yagi to transform back into All Might, destroying the entire swarm with his Nebraska smash, saving thousands of lives again. Number 6 cannot believe what he just saw. So guys, this is the end of the story of All Might's past, and after this arc, or this scene rather, it skips to the part where he met Deku already. So I hope you guys learned something and like this video, and please share this video, press the like button, and subscribe so that I could make more videos like this. And always stay in tune for more of my videos, and subscribe again for that 1000 subscriber giveaway. And I hope you guys are having a good time, and stay safe, wash your hands always, and buyers.